Angels Care Home Health, serving Hayes and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare-certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
They're polite. I mean, they just take the time for you.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible.
I like the Angels for what they've done for me.
Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.
Eagle Community Television presents Community Connection with your host, Mike Cooper.
Hello and welcome again to Community Connection from Eagle Community Television. Thanks for watching, and thanks as always to our producer of the series, Jeff Durall. We are at the Hayes Municipal Park, just South Main and Hayes, just to the east of the buffalo herd for the city of Hayes. Wanted to talk with the director of the Parks Department for the city of Hayes, Jeff Boyle, about the bison or buffalo herd in Hayes, and of course our summer overview of the Parks Department for the city of Hayes. Now, first of all, Jeff, let me say that by one of the users of the parks, particularly the dog park, the sports complex out to the northwest of the city, congratulations on your department, your personnel. They do an outstanding job on these parks. We really appreciate that from a consumer standpoint, Jeff.
And we appreciate the compliments. I know the guys work hard to keep everything up, and you know, and even in the heat, they're out there getting with the program, making sure everything's kept up. So I really do appreciate that.
What's our overview of the park situation this summer? How are we doing?
We're doing okay. We got some good rainfall this year. We're actually above normal. That does create more mowing, obviously, and string trimming, but we're maintaining. We're keeping up with it. Everything's going well. We've got a lot of park reservations this year again. We're approaching 400 reservations right now per year average.
Wow.
So that's nice to have folks out in our parks using our shelter houses and enjoying family. So everything's going real good. Everything's going good.
That's a good point, I think, Jeff, that for those shelter houses, probably a good idea to check in with the Parks Department, make sure that one's going to be available,
right,
because they are heavily in demand.
They are. We have a reservation program. All folks have to do is call in. We get their name and a contact number and approximately how many people are going to be there, and we reserve that shelter free of charge. And it can be used for family gatherings, Cub Scout meetings, whatever they'd like to use it for. So that's what we're here for.
Well, as Jeff and I were coming into the municipal park down here on South Main, we saw probably half a dozen cars already this morning that are out using the park and exploring and such. And as a matter of fact, when we pulled up here at the buffalo herd location, there was a family here that was already taking a look at the herd. First of all, buffalo or bison? What's the official
I think politically correct name is bison, but I think we all have a tendency to just call them buffalo because I think it kind of, you know, just sounds more like the Old West and, instead of referring to bison. But yeah, bison is the politically correct name.
But they're interchangeable.
They're interchangeable,
basically.
yes. They are interchangeable.
How long has Hayes had a buffalo herd?
We have records going back to 1953. They were here before 53, but they were under, I believe, Fort Hays State and maybe the Kansas State Ag Center. One of those two entities, maybe a combination of the two, were taking care of the herd at that time. In around 1979, they approached the city and asked us if the city would like to take over the herd. And back in 79, we did so. So we've had them since then.
How many in the herd? Numbers stay fairly constant. What's the population now?
We try to keep with 4 cows and a bull. Typically we have 4 calves every year. This year's a little bit unique because we got rid of all of our old cows and our old bull, and so we have some young heifers here and a young bull, and so this year we have 1 calf already and possibly 1 more. Now I would anticipate next year that we have 4 calves out of the young cows. So.
And this young calf we've already found from caretaker for the city of Hayes, Mark Augustine, who's been caretaker for about 12 years now. Mark's with us today too, as a matter of fact. That the calf has already been named. I guess Mark kind of takes these little calves under his wing, so to speak.
He does. He takes the whole herd under his wings. We're fortunate to have Mark helping us. Mark does a great job. He does name the calves, so we let him do that. That's one of the things we just kind of a given that he's going to do that. And but he does a great job with our herd and really takes care of them. You know, he puts on preventative fly maintenance type things and helps the vet give shots and all those sort of things. So he does a great job for us.
Feeds them and everything else.
Feeds them,
right?
yeah. He's over here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday graining them. In the wintertime, he's here basically 7 days a week, making sure their water's good and full and that they've been fed that morning. So yeah, we're real fortunate to have Mark helping us.
And the calf's name, we understand from Mark, is Sunshine.
Sunshine, that's the calf's name. Yep.
Born May 23rd.
Yep.
And the number of offspring, now you say there's one new calf.
Right.
Each of the heifers has one offspring usually a year, or will in the future?
One per year, yeah.
As they get a little older.
Yep.
Are they a fairly popular attraction?
Very popular. You can come over here almost any time during the day and there'll be somebody over here watching the buffalo. So it's a really, really great attraction for the community and for folks visiting the community. So you know, we take pride in the buffalo. It's quite the ordeal for us.
And at the area, the location here, there are several things we wanted to point out. One of which is the propane tank and the fresh water for the herd at all times.
Right, we do have fresh water. We have a propane tank that heats the water during the winter time to keep it from freezing over. Obviously, we don't have to do that in the summer, but we do keep fresh water in the tank. And then also there's a small pond out here that they can drink out of, and we have rainfall, which we've had this year.
Yeah.
And then of course there's the mound of dirt that we keep over here by the pond. They like to play king of the mountain, and it's pretty darn neat. It gives them something to do, a little different, you know, and so a lot of times when you come over here, you'll find one of them on top of the hill, kind of, I'm the boss kind of a thing. So it's pretty neat.
But the next time you come over, that may change,
yeah,
right, depending
absolutely.
on. Yeah. And also, a couple of the things that are further back there that Jeff will show us later on. What are those two cylinder type things?
Those are actually street sweeper brooms. So when our street sweeper that goes around town and cleans the roadways, when those brooms start wearing down, they get replaced. We bring the used brooms over here and set them upright on the pole foundation we got, and the buffalo actually can scratch on those, and actually in the summertime can actually remove their winter fur on those. So it's kind of a nice way to recycle a part that's basically going to be thrown away, and we put it to use.
Well, and obviously they're adaptable to changing seasons. Now, of course, in the history of bison or buffalo, they really had that thick coat for the wintertime.
Right.
And then in the summer, it basically is shed. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Usually around the 1st of May, they start kind of shedding that off, and that's when they really start scratching on the scratch posts we got, and try to knock that fur off to keep cool.
Yeah. Well, and the pond helps there too,
The
I
pond
imagine.
definitely helps that, and we did build a lean-to here a few years back for them to get in and out of the sun. So they have been, especially on these 100-degree days, have been going into the lean-to a lot.
I like what you said about the double fence too, because in the entire area here, I remember at one time I think there was a single fence, but many years ago a double fence was created.
Yeah, we had some situations where folks were crawling up on the fence and trying to reach out and pet the buffalo, and there's been a couple of incidents where folks got hurt. Also, we've had situations where kids have tried to climb the fence to go retrieve frisbees from our frisbee golf course here. So we put up the double fence. I made a comment a few years back, kind of a funny comment, but some folks maybe didn't think it was quite that funny. But we put up the second fence to keep the people away from the buffalo, not the buffalo away from the people.
Yeah, because they're by and large docile, but there again, if you're invading their space, there could be some problems.
Right, yes.
They're still a wild animal too.
They are.
We have to remember that.
They are, and you know, it's something that while they are very docile over here, but if you get them in, if you get in there and get them cornered or something, you know, they're gonna have that flight or fight instinct, and it's not a good thing. So
well, and that's what we thought about Mark Augustine when Mark was feeding them here prior to our visit. on our Community Connection, that he gets right there in there with them, close up and personal.
Yeah, I got to keep an eye on Mark when it comes to that. But again,
You haven't found any saddles or anything hidden away
Right.
out here, have you?
they know Mark so well that he can literally walk up to the fence and start hollering at them, and they'll come running to him. So
Wow.
they look at Mark as kind of their father or parental figure, and so they typically leave him alone. But I still encourage him to be careful while he's in there.
Absolutely, yeah. Take care of Mark as well
Right.
as the buffalo.
Exactly.
Speaking of that, what are they fed? What's the diet?
Well, they're fed in the wintertime. He feeds them brome and alfalfa, and then of course in the spring and summer they've got their roughly 9 acres here of grass to eat on, and then also Mark will come over and grain them on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So one thing about our buffaloes, they're not starving at all.
Well fed and well cared
Yes,
for.
they are well cared for.
Well, and about any problem that might occur with an injury or illness, you have a vet backup.
We
right?
do have a vet backup, yes. Dr. Wiedenhoff comes over and helps us out. Obviously, Mark's involved in that as well. We do have a set of corrals down in the far north, we'll call that the northwest corner, that we can actually walk, get the buffalo to go into, and then we have a head chute, a head gate that we can stop them at and go ahead and do whatever procedure needs to be done, and then let them out and on their merry way. So
There are some medications and things like that that the vet administers to keep them healthy.
Right. We do it's a fly pour-on. It's supposed to be a 12-month control for flies. So we do that. We also, they're basically vaccinated twice a year. The fall is, we give them their standard fall shots, including a dewormer. And then in the spring, of course, is the breeding shots that they require, plus the fly pour-on. So they're healthy year-round. Mark does a real good job keeping track of that as well.
Well, Jeff, this is a unique herd. I mean, not many cities have buffalo herds they can call their own, do they?
Not to my knowledge. I think we're kind of a unique city in that we do have a buffalo herd. Obviously, there's other cities that have zoos, small zoos that they're in charge of. I don't know for sure that they have buffalo, but we have kind of a unique deal where we have basically an open pasture here where they can just kind of do as they please within that area, and again, it brings a lot of folks to town, and a lot of our citizens come down and just spend time down here watching the buffalo, and so it's all worthwhile. It makes it all worthwhile to us.
I wondered if, is there a designation on the Hayes website, the city website, about the buffalo?
There is, I believe, a small area on there that talks about the fact that we do have a bison herd that's available for public viewing, and not a huge full page by any means, but at least a couple of mentions in there, and might be something we need to look at. Maybe add a little more flair to that, and so folks can get a little better idea of what we do have down here.
Well, there are a lot of unique things about the city of Hayes that we certainly enjoy as citizens, and for those who are visiting, and the buffalo herd is certainly one of those.
Yes, absolutely.
Very unique thing. And once again, thanks to caretaker Mark Augustine, who has been doing this for about 12 years now. And once again, Jeff, thank you to you and your crew and the City Parks Department for all the work they do during these hot days of summer to provide for us a very enjoyable experience using the parks in the city.
Well, I
of Hayes.
sure appreciate that, Mike, and I will pass that on to the crew because I know they work hard and try to always do the right thing and make sure our parks and everything are up to speed and available and ready for everybody to use. So,
Jeff Boyle, Director of Parks Department for the City of Hayes, our Community Connection.
Angels Care Home Health, serving Hayes and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
And the Angel Care nurse comes to see me once a week.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible.
Angel Care has helped to stay home.
Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.